Welcome to Camo Office Hours. I'm your host, Eden from Camo, and today I am excited to hang out with you and show off our Camo Studio for iPad integration with Stream Deck. It's good to see people in the chat today already. Shout to the good guy who I think was here first. Briscoe had to jet, but he was also in the chat earlier. RiseStack Build says, Stream Deck is at home, so not sure of the build, of the model. That's okay. Saeed, what's up? Good to see you as always. What is it, your time? 7 p.m.? Not too late, because you've definitely joined even later streams before. So good to see everyone here today. Also, I have a question on the poll. This side? This side. Trying out polls for the second time. Let me know if you have used a Stream Deck. Saeed, I know you use a Stream Deck. Let's see what your answer is. Stream Deck XL, Stream Deck Plus, and the mobile app, waiting for the 128 button model. All right, one of these days I'm gonna have you on the show and go over all of the 128 actions that you would program onto that Stream Deck model. Yeah, I want to do a Stream Deck. We'll be doing another Stream Deck show at some point, and Saeed, I definitely have to get you on. If anyone doesn't know, Saeed, friend of the show, he does really cool facilitator trainings, and one of them is on Stream Deck. I actually ran some ideas by him when we were working on this integration, a little behind the scenes. Good guy, good to see you. First person here today. First person here. Liz, hi, good to see you here. So a Stream Deck is made by our friends at Elgato. They are, let me see if I have another one lying around that I can show you. This is a Stream Deck. So this is the MK2, the sort of classic 15-button layout for the Stream Deck. It is a tool that is very popular with creators that allow you to program actions onto each of these buttons. So you can kind of think of them as keyboard shortcuts. I'll be walking through the demo today and showing you what the Stream Deck support that we've added to Camo Studio for iPad is, and that should give you a deeper understanding of Stream Deck. But if you have, the sort of short answer is that it is a cool little device that can really level up your productivity and efficiency because you can just program different key actions onto all of these buttons. And I see RiseStack Build said this one looks just like mine. So yeah, you probably have this one. This one's, I feel like, might be the most popular one. It's definitely been around for the longest, although I think they maybe have like upgraded it before. But yeah, this one's the MK2, the 15 key. This one's the one that I use with my desktop setup the most for a few years now. Yeah. Yeah, so for those of y'all that have Stream Decks, I'd love to know some of the key actions that y'all have programmed onto it. I just think it's really interesting to hear how different people use Stream Decks and what kind of ideas that I can get to help level up my own productivity. So I obviously don't have this plugged in right now, but I actually have my lights programmed against it, and I can just like press different colors to change the color of my lighting. I have a bunch of like Photoshop shortcuts paired to it. So it's like the Photoshop keyboard shortcut for exporting something is like Command Option Shift W or something, and I got really tired of doing that keyboard shortcut, so I just added a Stream Deck button for it, and it just makes everything a little bit faster. So yeah, let me know how you guys use the Stream Deck, and hopefully y'all will love the integration that we have built with partnering with Elgato to bring Stream Deck functionality to Camo Studio for iPad. Victor, what's up? Stream Deck XL, Stream Deck Mini, and the app. No pedal for you? I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like you might be a Stream Deck pedal guy. Faye, good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Okay, so you have the 15 original, just like this one, not the Mini. The Mini only has 6 keys, so that one is sort of like it's really cute. It's extra cute. I will be demoing today with the Stream Deck Neo, which has 8 keys. Also very cute. I'm a big fan of the form factor. It has a built-in cable. I can't show it to you this second because I have it hooked up to my demo, but you will see it shortly in the next scene, a photo. I mean a video of it, because I have a definitely not complex or convoluted demo setup for you guys today with a few different cameras, extra lighting to show off our Stream Deck integration. So in case anyone is new here, because I know that we get some new joiners sometimes, Camo Studio for iPad is our ultimate mobile content creation app. It is a fully featured streaming and recording studio. Think OBS, but built for iPad, like super native vibe to the tablet experience. You know, it's sort of like pinch and unpinch to resize things. You can move stuff around with a touch screen. And the Camo Studio for iPad has multiple camera sources, and you can add overlay elements such as text, shapes, images, web overlays to fully customize your scenes. And now with the Stream Deck integration, you can run all of these actions even more seamlessly than ever. No pedal for Victor. All right. I profiled you wrong as a creator because I thought you might be someone that uses a pedal. Bond Stock says there's a virtual version that works nicely. Planning to use it with OBS. Do you mean virtual Stream Deck? The like mobile version of their Stream Deck? Is that what you mean? And Saeed says Elgato rolled out version 7 of the Stream Deck app yesterday, including a few new features plus virtual Stream Deck. Okay. I have not updated my software because I've had demos back to back to back weeks, and I don't like to update stuff when I have to go live because you never know what might break. Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen, good to see you. You made it online today. I think you missed one of the recent ones, and we missed you, but you're here today, so good to see you. I know it's late for you over in your side of the world, so thank you for joining us as always. And Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen also says, I have now connected my new Windows laptop. All right, let me know how you are liking the Windows app. We actually have updates coming to Windows very soon that will bring the experience a little bit closer to what you know on the iPad. But yes, I'm glad that you have Camo now up and running on your Windows machine as well. And starting a stream, but then live stream didn't continue on YouTube. Oh no, I feel like you're always running into streaming issues with us. I'm so sorry about that. I know that we do have some improvements to the streaming experience coming soon. And when you said you were able to start a stream, but then it didn't continue on YouTube, do you mean on the iPad, right? Let me know. Anyway, I am going to proceed with the demo, but as you guys know, y'all can drop questions into the chat any day. I mean, any second, not any day, today, when the stream is live. You can add comments if you're catching the replay. But yeah, I'll be focusing on the Stream Deck integration today, so I'm definitely going to prioritize questions about using Stream Deck with Camo, but if I have time at the end, I'll cover non-Stream Deck integration related questions as well. So, good to see you guys as always, and as I mentioned earlier, let me know what Stream Deck you're using, if you use a Stream Deck, and what kind of key actions that you usually have programmed to your Stream Deck. Yeah, so Bond Stock, I'd love to know what you have on your top few Stream Deck keys. You said you were going to use it with OBS, so like what do you have, what key actions do you have on that Stream Deck? Like, is it start, stop, stream? Do you have other actions like switching scenes, previous scene, next scene? I'm like always curious to take a peek under the hood for how everyone else has their Stream Deck program set up. All right, so without further ado, I will start the Stream Deck demo. So yeah, this is the Stream Deck Neo. It is 8 keys with 2 touch points, which I think are very, very cool. The first step to using your Stream Deck with Camo or anything on the iPad is to download the Stream Deck Connect app. This is the Elgato app that you can get on the iPad App Store, that you'll need to go through this Stream Deck Connect onboarding for, so you can turn on the Stream Deck device driver. It's super straightforward. You just hit getting started, go to app settings. It will pull up the Stream Deck device driver for you. You have to make sure it's turned on. This is to ensure that your Stream Deck can properly communicate with your iPad. And then when you plug in your iPad, you plug the Stream Deck into your iPad, you'll see it show up under the devices. And I like how they have these like emojis programmed onto it to, just so you can like kind of check to make sure. And Mohammed Floyd says, he clicked on this thinking this was Steam Deck related. Yo, if I'm being perfectly honest, I always have to be super careful when I am saying anything, because I also have a Steam Deck that I obviously use to play games with. But I get Stream Deck and Steam Deck, they sound very, very similar. I get them confused. I mean, I don't get the products confused, but it's difficult sometimes when you're reading or saying things quickly. It's very easy to conflate. Very easy to conflate. Saeed, this is a Stream Deck cam. I'm using my phone to shoot the Stream Deck. It is not a photo. Yeah, it is a perfect cropping of it. Thank you, thank you. I'm not gonna lie, this setup took a bit of tinkering to come up with. I have extra lighting set up so y'all can see the keys very nicely. So thank you for your kind words about my special Stream Deck camera. And Mohammed, you didn't know that you could connect one of these devices? There's very few apps that support being able to use the Stream Deck with the iPad right now. So it's just a few that are in Stream Deck Connect that you can see also on the screen right now. So this is a pretty new feature. It will surely open up to more and more apps moving forward. But for now, we do feel pretty cool that we got to be sort of early adopters of this technology. And now, when I open Camo back up, you'll see that the Stream Deck keys are automatically populated onto the Stream Deck. So, if you are familiar with using a Stream Deck, especially on desktop, for example, I do want to specify that this is slightly different than the desktop experience, because on the desktop experience, you are assigning each key action, personalizing it yourself through the plugin marketplace, and adding actions that way. We have done that for you because that's how the app currently works. And hopefully it makes sense. We would love your feedback on the key actions that we have added to the Stream Deck integration in version 1. Please send us feature requests for which key actions you think that we're missing, or if you feel like our key layouts could use improvement. We are always here to accept constructive criticism. These were created based on mainly my use case in what I feel like makes sense for when I'm streaming and recording. So we definitely want feedback on this. So I know the community loves to share feedback, so don't hold back. And as you guys always know, for those that join the community live stream, send all hate mail directly to Aiden's DMs. Aiden is our CEO. But yes, when you open Camo for iPad on any of your Stream Deck models, I'm demoing with the Neo, so depending on the key layout, you might get slightly varying layouts, but all of the key actions are available on all the Stream Deck models. They just might not look exactly like the Neo because of the different number of keys that are on each Stream Deck. These first 5 scenes on the Stream Deck are the first 5 scenes in the current collection. If you press the ellipsis key, it will open up a folder with all of the scenes in that collection that you can then navigate using the touch points. So I really like the touch points on the Neo because it's like a page navigator. If you're on the MK2 or the Mini or the XL, although we only have enough keys to fill one page on the XL. We have to have like next page and previous page buttons. The Neo has the touch points that you can use to navigate, so it's pretty cool. And using these, they go back and forth, and you can look at all of your scenes. Tap the up arrow to go back up, and this is my all scenes collection. The double arrow icons scroll through different scene collections that you have set up. So let me pull up my stream panel to give you guys sort of like a better idea of this. So like earlier I had this on all scenes, and you can see in my stream panel here on the right hand side of the screen, I don't know left and right sometimes, it's just showing all of my scenes. Here, I'll pull up the full scene. But if I scroll through them, it just scrolls through the scene collections. So I definitely recommend organizing your scenes into collections so that it's really easy to get the scenes that you need while you are actually streaming. Saeed says, wasn't listening because he was too mesmerized by the Stream Deck cam. I would like to take another bow for that because I'm pretty proud of the setup. Although it as you can see, it sometimes gets a little bit crooked when I'm pressing the buttons because it slightly moves it. So I have to readjust it to get it back perfectly straightened. We'll continue to refine the setup. But yeah, so make sure you are organizing your scenes into collections so that when you're streaming, you are seeing the scenes in that collection. So for example, like I like to have mine set up sort of like each collection has the starting soon, the be right back, stream ending, and the whatever scenes I'm using. Now let me actually show you guys the scenes. So in case it wasn't obvious, which I don't think I said, when you press a button, it goes to that scene. So that's super cool. And I just love that you can see the little scene thumbnail that like shows you which scene is. Like stream ending, boom, BRB. This is my game scene. And the one with my face is like my face scene. But I'll put it back on the game scene for now. And Mohammed, I think one of these days I will have to do a behind the scenes, how I have things set up. Right now it's very chaotic, let me put it that way. But yeah, I'll definitely share one of these days because it's pretty fun. But yeah, so since I was talking about scene collections, I'll just go over quickly here. While you are in the scenes panel, you can right click to add to collections very easily, or you can open up the full scene panel and you can start a new collection from here. And this is also where you can organize all of your scenes. In one of the recent updates, I think Camo Studio for iPad 2.2, we added the feature to be able to rearrange your scenes, which now is even more useful, so you can make sure that the scenes that you want to use are the ones that show up on the Stream Deck. So as you can see, as I rearrange the scenes in my scene panel, the Stream Deck buttons are aligning with the rearrangement. So it's super convenient to have them set up in order. Let me put, it's usually more like game, BRB, talking scene, and then stream ending. So yeah, just a little, that's just a little tip. And we did not used to be able to rearrange our scenes in the scene gallery, but now you can. And especially with the Stream Deck, it makes it extra convenient now. Okay, so that is basically page one on the Stream Deck Neo. Now I will move on to page two. So now that I have moved over to the next page, you'll see a whole new set of key actions. The first button is to start or stop streaming. I'm not going to press it right now because I don't want to go live. So right now you can see that it's the Twitch icon, but if you are streaming to YouTube, the YouTube button shows up instead of the Twitch button. So it's a cute little feature to confirm that you're actually streaming to the right place. All right, so Mohammed, I'm actually streaming from my computer. I have my iPad hooked up to my computer. That's the only way that I could show the iPad and the Stream Deck and me on camera at the same time. I have not yet figured out how to stream from the iPad and also show the iPad streaming, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm actually using eCam to stream from my computer. I have a capture card bringing my iPad into my computer, and I'm using Camo camera wireless phone to shoot my Stream Deck. That's also brought into the computer. Yeah. So just to clarify, I'm not actually streaming from the iPad right now. We have yet to come up with a feature that allows us to demo what's being shown on the iPad while streaming from it. So this is your start-stop streaming key. I just really like that it shows the different icons. And as we add more streaming services, we'll get those icons added too. So let us know where y'all want to stream to. I know we've gotten Facebook and Instagram as popular requests. Also, we've gotten TikTok as a request before. But let us know where you guys are streaming to and where y'all want to stream to. And we will do what we can to get it added and to also have a cute little icon so that you know where you're streaming to. And if you have a custom RTMP, it's just sort of like a little generic streaming icon. And this button next to the streaming icon is the start or stop recording. I can actually press that one to show you what it looks like. Start and then stop. Pretty straightforward. And so earlier when I was talking about arranging your scenes in the order you're most likely to use them, these next few key actions are sort of the reason why. I have our previous scene and next scene buttons. I am someone that likes to just have my scenes in order when I am streaming so I can just go next or back if I have to. So I really like to use next scene, previous scene, be right back. It's like if it's all in order, I can just press next scene and previous scene and I'll know it will go to the right one. This button is a button that everyone that does content finds absolutely essential, and that is the quick mute button, because we know that we sometimes might need to cough or sneeze, and we should always work the mute when that happens. Faye says, get another iPad and hook it up through a capture card. Okay. Get another iPad. That sounds like a very fun idea. Maybe I can borrow one of yours. Do you have one of the M4 iPads? Let me borrow that M4 iPad, and we'll hook it up. I'll hook up the M2 to the M4 through another capture card. That doesn't get convoluted at all. Yeah. Okay, so Mohammed streams to IG and YouTube mostly, and sometimes Facebook. All right, that's good to know. That is good to know. So, yes, you can stream and record at the same time, although you do need an M1 chip or later to be able to do both at the same time for performance reasons. So I'm at a TV. I don't have a Stream Deck XL, but all of the actions that I am demoing right now are also available on the Stream Deck XL. In fact, I have to switch between different pages to show you all the key actions on the Neo, but I believe on the XL we just have the entire 32 key actions just mapped out on the XL, and there are no pages because we don't have enough actions to add more pages yet. But yes, the Stream Deck XL works, and I don't personally have one, so I can't demo with it, but it is compatible with Camo Studio for iPad, and you get all of the same key actions that you're seeing here today. All right, and so when I am streaming, or for those of y'all that are familiar with the iPad, let me switch over to the slightly smaller scene so y'all can see the left-hand navigation. When you have your sources set up, usually the primary video source is going to be the capture card or apps on this iPad, and the secondary source is usually the face cam. So let me switch to a scene that has both. This one. Also demoing some quick scene switching, because if you know what your scene thumbnails look like, it is quite convenient to use the scene thumbnails to switch to it. So in this scene, I'm using a picture-in-picture. I have both. I have my primary video source set as my capture card, external video source. So my secondary one is the front ultra-wide camera, and that's why we have this hotkey for turning your camera quickly on and off. I know sometimes, like, if I get a delivery while I am live, which for some reason Amazon and UPS have all day to show up, but they like to show up right after I've started a meeting or a live stream. It's like a quickly convenient way to just hit mute and turn off your camera and run out to grab that delivery really quick. So yeah. So that's why we have this secondary camera set as on this streaming page, so you can quickly turn it off. So just to keep that in mind, if you have the, I know iMeta TV brought up the XL. If you have the XL, you'll see the buttons to hide your primary and secondary video source all on the same page layout. But we had to do some picking and choosing for the Stream Deck layouts with only 6 or 8 or 15 keys. And next up is the Stream Panels key, but I will switch to my Twitch account first, because YouTube doesn't have stream panels that are as built out as Twitch. Oops, that's the full screen key. I meant to press that one. So if you are familiar with Twitch stream panels, I think they are very, very cool ways to quickly access information such as chat, activity. Stream health is a very popular one. These are just the actions that I have set up in my iPad, but you have this entire list of stream panels that you can add to Camo Studio for iPad for whatever you feel like is the most useful. And this Stream Deck key just allows you to quickly toggle it on and off. I know sometimes, depending on what you're doing for your stream, like if you're gaming and if you're really focused on the game, you might not want to see the chat if you are trying to complete an objective with a lot of focus. I'm pretty ADD, as most of y'all know by this point. So if sometimes I do like to have the stream panel off, but then I like to be able to quickly check in on it, and the stream panel hide and unhide is a great way to do that. Yeah. Christian Zoto 123 says, yeah, Amazon. I swear, I'm like, yo, they don't show up all day until I'm in a meeting or a live stream. Yes. And Mohammed, yes, there are camo keys set up already when you open the app. Right now, that is because of how the Stream Deck connects with the iPad, this is the most straightforward way to approach the integration. This might change moving forward, just as the Stream Deck driver gets updated, or as we update things on our end, we'll see what we can do to let people assign their own key actions to their Stream Deck, because I know that is the experience that most people on desktop are used to. But for now, yeah, it's pre-curated. We did a lot of thinking through, but this is something we would love the community's feedback on. Like, I would love for you guys to tell me if y'all think that this makes sense. Like, what is most useful for you when you're streaming or recording? Like, if just, I would love for y'all to try it out and be like, oh, like I liked this button here, but I feel like this page could use this button. Yeah, give us your feedback and let us know what you think, because we're very aware that this is a slightly different user experience than what people are used to on the desktop Stream Deck app, where it's like totally customized. So hopefully we've made it make sense though, but happy to hear feedback and constructive criticism if y'all feel like we can do better, because we love hearing feedback and we love to keep improving the app. Next button up on the Stream Deck is the start-stop streaming key. I mean, sorry, not start-stop streaming key, full screen toggle key. Can y'all tell that I've been practicing the run-through? Because I'm just like saying things that are lines that are part of my walkthrough, but I was kind of on autopilot there because the scene changed. Yeah, but I like that. Earlier in the pre-show, I definitely had on full screen while I was playing Overcooked, a very fun game if any of y'all also partake in Overcooked. Saeed, that is a great button. That's a great idea. I think we could all use a censor button for cursing. I don't think I've ever heard you curse on any of your live streams or trainings, which is, maybe you have a key on your Stream Deck for it, but that is a pretty important key. It's sort of like on radio when they have like the bleep key ready in case a guest says something that's not supposed to go over radio airwaves. Am I showing my age by mentioning radio? Maybe. But yeah, so this is the this is the streaming page on the Stream Deck. Christian Soto says Overcooked destroyer of relationship. I'm laughing because it's so true. Like it's a teamwork game, and the number of times someone has been in my way or not in the right place when I throw an ingredient over to them, especially in some of the some of the levels that with like a lot of moving parts, teamwork is very essential. Teamwork is very essential, and if you're not on the same page, I can definitely see how it can destroy relationships and friendships. Yeah. All right, so that was the streaming page on the Stream Deck Neo. Next page up is the editing page. So, I don't know if y'all noticed, but when I hit the editing page, it took me straight to the scene editor view, the layers tab. This layers tab right here. So, I'll go back to the streaming page and just do that one more time. So this is usually the view that I'm on, because in case I need to make any changes to my camera or recalibrate anything, I usually keep things here. But if you go to the editing page on the Stream Deck, it will automatically open up the layers tab, because all of the key actions on this page of the Stream Deck Neo are dedicated to allowing you to edit your scenes. So if you don't have a Neo and you have the standard Stream Deck or the Stream Deck Plus, no, the Stream Deck XL. The Stream Deck Plus has the same page layouts as the Stream Deck Neo. If you have the standard Stream Deck or the Mini or the XL, it will have a dedicated key that looks like this little stack icon in the iPad app. That opens up the layers tab. But on the Stream Deck Plus and the Stream Deck Neo, when you open up the editing page, it will automatically go to this page for you. These letters here allow you to add text quickly. This universal image button opens up your photo library, so you can add something from your photos. I'm not going to right now. This is to add a shape, and this is to add a web overlay. So just basically, we tried to put as many key actions onto the Stream Deck as possible. We even have very handy undo buttons. I love an undo button. I'm a very linear editor when it comes to graphics or editing video. My brain works linearly, so I love the undo button. And then on this page also you have both the hide the primary view and hide your secondary camera video source options. So we added these on the editing view because sometimes when I am setting up a scene, I actually don't want to see I like to start from a blank slate. I'm a blank slate girly when it comes to setting up scenes or setting up graphics. So it is just a sort of like convenient way for you to quickly turn your video sources on and off. And when you're ready for them, you can bring them back in. And then this last key is our markup key. Haven't demoed this in a while. But did y'all know that the Camo Studio for iPad has this function where you can use it as a whiteboard? Like, this is me right here. I'm not very good at drawing with the mouse, but we have this feature available. I demoed it a long time ago, but I haven't in a while now that I think about it. But undo is probably easier than the eraser. But yeah, pressing once turns it on, and again to turn it off. And those are the available Stream Deck key actions on the Stream Deck. Saeed says he curses with facial expressions. Faye asked if we're getting a Pikachu drawing. Challenge accepted. Let me know if y'all have any questions. I'm gonna draw a Pikachu as requested by Faye. Should I cheat and use my hand to draw? Is that cheating, Faye, if I use my hand instead of the mouse? Oh, Christian says he's never used markup in his entire life. Well, why not? No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't use markup super regularly, but it is kind of useful in certain situations, like if you need to circle something. Like I know some teachers that use Camo Studio for iPad or for oops. Hey, isn't this supposed to be white? This is a bug. Teachers like to use whiteboard, the markup feature, to circle things on their live streams if they don't know if their students are paying attention. Oops, did not mean to do that. But I will go ahead and do Pikachu cheeks. And actually this color, change it to black or blue. I'll give Pikachu, whoops, some blue eyes because the white wasn't working for some reason. And a nose. It looks like a rabbit. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna report that. I'm sending that straight to the support team for some reason. Interesting one. Okay, so there is something that I want to demo for you guys before we finish. I will leave my beautiful drawing of Pikachu here for you guys because my Pikachu drawings are iconic, as always. Thank you, Faye, for raising that for me. The devs listen to you more than they listen to me anyway. But let's go back to our scene thumbnails. So how did I set these? Oh, Vasu's vegetarian catch said also looks like a cat. Yeah, I agree. It does also look like a cat. I will practice drawing my Pikachu skills. So one of these days, y'all will be like, wow, that looks just like a Pikachu. Thank you, Faye. 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. I appreciate you. But it does also look like a cat. 인정. I admit it. So for our thumbnails, for the face scene, for example, Pikachu's still hanging out here. You might have noticed that what is on my Stream Deck key, here let me switch to my bigger Stream Deck key view, is not actually a preview of what is on the screen. So we added options for updating thumbnail in the previous update that you can find here in the Layers tab under Update Thumbnail. You can use the preview, you can use something from the photo library or your files, and whatever you want the Stream Deck to show for your Stream Deck key scene thumbnail preview is going to be what is in the middle of the scene. So right now, if I switch it to use preview, it will change to me. So I'll just demo that really quickly. And now you can see that I am on the Stream Deck. Isn't that amazing? But my Memoji is way cuter than my actual face. So I'm going to update the thumbnail by choosing something from the photo library. And did y'all see it update? Did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? So you can kind of think about scene thumbnails. There's different ways. So I know some people would prefer to have what is actually on their scene as their scene thumbnail, but I like to, because I want my Stream Deck to look uniform and matching in its colors, so I'm actually going to change it to, I used the wrong Memoji photo because this is my purple scene collection and I want to use my purple emoji face. So let me switch to, see, this is my purple collection. You can kind of think about it as sort of like the same approach as like YouTube thumbnails. The YouTube thumbnail is not always and necessarily a screenshot from the YouTube video itself. It's sort of like a representative of what you're going to get in the YouTube video, if that makes sense. So anyway, all the options for thumbnails are there. It is up to you whether you want to use an actual preview or use something for aesthetic, like Faye says. So yeah, see, look, it switched. It's changed to me talking on the Stream Deck key. So yeah, we're gonna change that back. But like I also demoed the other day, you can use any, like Duolingo makes for a great adorable little Stream Deck key. Or, you know, you can basically use any photos you want. Just make sure that the image that you want to show up on the Stream Deck key is in the center of the canvas and pretty large. Like if I use Connie, he's kind of too small for the thumbnail. So just using that to show sort of the difference of what I feel like works well as a thumbnail and what works a little bit slightly less well. But yeah, this is the one that we're going to stick with. Saeed says, did you know that you can use GIFs? Hey, are y'all GIFs or GIFs? Are y'all team GIF or team GIF? Let me know in the chat. I know some people feel strongly about this. I feel less strongly about it, but I think I say it differently just depending on however the context is. But I did not know that you can use animated GIFs for buttons, and I agree with Faye. We need to, that's gonna be a feature request because an animated Pikachu thumbnail would be very, very awesome. Is this about my Pikachu? Vasu's Vegetarian Kitchen. My Pikachu looks a little grumpy. You're not wrong, because he's not exactly smiling, but yeah. Do y'all have any other questions about Stream Deck? Or also, since I finished my demo, happy to take any other camo questions you guys might have as well. Otherwise, I'll just run through some of the actions again in the beginning in case anyone joined late. This first page on the Stream Deck is your scenes page view. Right now, I'm in my purple scene collection. I have a few other scene collections set up as well. Frontier, which now has a Duolingo icon that I did not mean to change, but I did to demo it for y'all. And also all and favorites. So Mohammed, the ones I'm showing are a mix. Like for example, in my purple scene collection, the starting soon, the stream ending, and the BRB scene, those are just the previews of the scene itself because they're pretty simple and straightforward scenes. I didn't really feel the need to change them. I thought the preview worked very well. But like for this you can see the overcooked icon. I did actually just take in the thumbnail options, I hit use preview in the update thumbnail option when it was on the overcooked intro game scene. So that's why it looks the way that it does on here, because I wanted it to represent that I'm playing a video game in this scene. So it's a mix. And yeah, as I mentioned, the one with the Memoji face, that one is one that I created, that I made and uploaded onto the iPad to use as a thumbnail. So it's a mix. It's just kind of, the way I approach it is I just thought what would be most helpful for me at a glance to be able to like just look at the Stream Deck and represent like what little small picture to fit onto the Stream Deck key would make the most sense to represent the scene that I want to switch to. And yeah, so we didn't do a very good job of broadcasting the thumbnail option, and we actually only added a lot more of these options in Camo Studio 2.2, which was just a couple of months ago, so you haven't missed that much actually. It is pretty useful though, because even if you don't have a Stream Deck, I personally just sort of like having a clean look in my scene gallery and being able to know what the scenes are. Like, yeah, so please give them a try and let us know what you think, and let us know if y'all have any feedback. iMeta TV, good question. What website can we get more scenes? So I don't know. I think it depends on what kind of scenes you are looking for. We have some scenes available in our Explore section. Let me switch to the iPad scene without the Stream Deck. Goodbye, Stream Deck cam. We have this Explore section in our iPad app that you can browse and download scenes from. We will hopefully add more and more to this moving forward, but for right now we have these streaming scenes that are sort of like, you know, a lot of picture-in-picture, like a game and a face cam, or like a overhead cam, face cam, and professional use case scenes that are more sort of like meeting friendly, that for if you're shooting professional video, like if you're introducing yourself, I think this meet and greet scene is really nice. Social scenes and utility scenes. We'll be adding more of these moving forward. You can also get scenes from web overlay sites. Stream Elements has a handful of scenes. I think I have a few of my scenes actually are Stream Elements scenes. This one is for sure, which it looks like I don't have fully calibrated. Oh, actually, why don't I set this up why don't I turn on my cameras? Oh, I don't have them calibrated, that's why. Let me see. I just have them set to off. Gotta set them to actual cameras before You do have to set actual cameras before you can use the camera on and off buttons. So just a little tip there. Yeah, so this is from Stream Elements. Elgato Marketplace also has scenes, I believe. Streamlabs has scenes. You can also set them up manually yourself. I do kind of like to just see what's available online. I'm a big fan of Stream Elements. I have a few other ones as well. Let me see. Where is my other? I like this one too. This one I used to demo. All right, I'm gonna clear off Pikachu because bye Pikachu. There we go. Because it doesn't fit with that scene, but but yeah, Stream Elements has a pretty solid collection. They're pretty like very streamer graphic-y, so I think it kind of just depends on what type of vibe you're going for, and like just seeing which overlay service or where people can get more scenes. I just like I like to just go on Twitch or YouTube and get inspiration from scenes by seeing what other people are using, and then I try to just create them myself. I am pretty proficient in Photoshop and Adobe Express, Canva, etc., and I like to build my own also because I like to have I like to have control over what I want my scenes to look like. I do not know what stingers are, so if you can specify that question, I will be able to better answer that for you. Saeed says, have you tried multi-actions for camo? What multi-actions would make sense? That is a great question. I think I have not got that far in my thinking yet. Like, I can think of a lot of multi-actions that I would want to use for like Photoshop or Premiere for a lot of the photo and video editing that I do, that are sort of like, you know, watermark, export, multi-action. But for camo, that's a great question. What multi-actions would make sense? Because I feel like multi-actions are usually ones that you're repeating like a sequence of actions over and over. And when I'm streaming or recording, I guess if you're setting up scenes, you could potentially have some multi-action setup where it's like, for example, if you have, if you want to build an entirely new scene collection and you know you want it to have your name, a logo, and like a profile picture, for example, it could be, the multi-action could be new scene, add text, add image, add logo. I think that, yeah, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. If you have any ideas for multi-actions, let me know as well. Or just if you want to share what multi-actions you have set up on your Stream Deck for for OBS or any other creator software, let me know so I can get some ideas. Mohammed says, transitions between scenes. So we're working on this. We don't have transitions at the moment. This is a very, very popular request. We would love to at least have some of the basic ones, like a dip to black, a crossfade. It's on the to-do list. We don't have them at the moment, but it's definitely a highly requested feature, and it's definitely on the radar. So yes, that we don't have them at the moment, but we do hope to add them sooner than later. Okay, so animated backgrounds is what you're looking for. I love animated backgrounds also. I will also be honest with you, iMeta TV is sometimes animated backgrounds have performance issues a little bit. We've done a lot of digging into this with web overlays because we've gotten a lot of reports of certain things, not like specific widgets not working sometimes, or like sort of working on a delay. And we are constantly working on making that experience smoother. But because a lot of the web overlays were built to run on a computer, the iPad sort of processes them differently. So anytime you are thinking about using a web overlay on Camo, I would recommend testing it in Safari on iPad first, because if it doesn't work well in Safari on iPad, you know, like in most web overlay services, you can kind of run like the emulator for like new follower or donation to like see what the animation action is. Using Safari to test it to make sure that the iPad it's iPad friendly is a good way to tell whether Camo will be able to run the overlay with an animation, because we've gotten mixed reports. Like some seem to work better than others. So we are always looking into improving that experience though. And yeah, Stream Elements does have a lot of compatibility with Camo. I'm using mostly Stream Elements ones. Actually, they're all Stream Elements ones. We love Stream Elements. Those are our buddies over there. So we're constantly working to get those up and running smoothly. All right, multi-actions from Saeed. Switch to scene X, mute mic, play music, start timer. Okay, so you're thinking more functionally when it comes to so for example, like if I was going to like a be right back scene, it would automatically mute the mic and play some background music, or like a starting soon or ending soon start timer. Okay, these are really good ideas. See, this is why I love doing these live streams. I get so many good ideas from you guys for things that we can be adding into the app. By the way, thank you guys for saying such nice things about my Stream Deck cam. It's a little bit of a complex setup that took quite a bit of tinkering to come up with something that I felt like met my standard of quality to share on a demo with y'all. So I really appreciate all the kind words. It is very chaotic behind the scenes, and I can't do anything else at my computer because it leaves me with very little elbow space, because the Stream Deck Neo has a built-in cable, which is I love about it, but it's also a limited length, and my hub is on the other side of my computer, and so it gives me very little elbow room to type. But the important thing is not what's behind the scenes, but what people see as the end result. All right, last call for questions. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I had a lot of fun chatting with you guys and hearing how you guys use Stream Deck. Last few minutes of office hours usually is reserved for playing some Ace Attorney levels, but I have Overcooked on today, so let me switch to my full game scene so y'all don't have to look at me twice. It's like kind of weird when I'm on this scene more than once. But Overcooked, destroyer of relationships. That's my biggest takeaway from this live stream today. But yeah, let me know. I would love for you guys to try out the integration, and let me know what y'all think of the key layouts, the key actions, what y'all think we should add, if y'all think we should rearrange anything. We build Camo largely based on community feedback. That's how we decide on what features to add. So don't hold back with your thoughts on what we could be doing better, as long as you can make an argument for it. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm using my iPhone, older iPhone 12 camera. I did also set up an extra little light for it, because here, if I turn off the light, it's like, it looks significantly worse. So I actually had like an extra key light that I set up with a boom arm on the other side of my desk to get the Stream Deck properly lit. Behind the scenes stream next. One of these days. I'll have to clean up the office a little bit more for that, because for those that do content, maybe you guys have heard this term called the cone of cleanliness, and that means that everything outside of what is visible on the stream is actually a chaotic mess, whether it's wires or my leftover sandwich from lunch or makeup products. So the stream looks nice and clean, but everything else that is off stream may be a little chaotic. So I'll have to do some serious organization before I can do a behind the scenes stream. But good to know that people are interested in learning more about setups. I do love, it is actually one of my favorite parts of doing content, is sort of like tinkering with setups to see how I can come up with creative ways to present things on stream. So all right, y'all, it is 3 p.m. Eastern time and an hour since we started the stream. It's late for those of the friends that are joining from Europe. Don't stay up too late. Thank y'all for joining, though. I'm really glad we got to spend the time together. I know some of y'all are also all the way on the other side of the world where it's the middle of the night. So please get some good sleep. Everybody stay healthy. Listen, okay, thank you. I'm so glad that I was a little worried when I said leftover sandwich that someone would be grossed out, but like, you know, I work remote, I work and eat, and I try to get a lot of work done, and sometimes my ADD says we're done eating, but we might still want the sandwich later, so it's just hanging out back there. It's still good though, don't worry, it's a cold sandwich. All right, y'all, see you guys next time.